Ongoing murder of Indian democracy. Let's wake up and stop it. Booklet reading dated 21st April 2026. Part 6. In SIR, ECI has said one thing and it's doing something opposite. In SIR, ECI has said one thing and it's doing something opposite. What ECI says SIR is intended to do. ECI says that the intention is to remove names of dead people, absent people, people who have moved out, or when there are duplicate entries of the same names, and also to remove any foreign citizens from the voters list. It also says the purpose is to add new voters if they have become 18 years of age, or if voters have moved from somewhere else, moved into this area from somewhere else, essentially to purify voter list. Stated intentions sound reasonable. What SIR actually seems to be doing is the following. SIR seems to mainly be an exercise in deletion of legitimate voters' names, targeting voters less likely to vote for BJP. Addition of legitimate names appear not to be a key purpose. Later reports suggest that large numbers of fake voters are perhaps being added to make the net deletions less in number. A social media video post by MP Mahua Moitra said that thousands of Form 6s were being brought in by BJP workers from outside West Bengal to West Bengal CEO office for addition of new voters. Piles and piles of thousands of such forms were apparently found in the CEO's office. This is completely in violation of the applicable rules for addition of new voters. There have been reports of similar addition of apparently fake voters in the past in Maharashtra, where 40 lakh voters were added in 5 months. Also similar reports in Haryana and in Delhi. In Bihar, in the first round of SIR, ECI had deleted 65 lakh names, but not even a single new name had been added. Later, after persons like Professor Yogendra Yadav raised this issue in the Supreme Court, ECI added 21 lakh names to the Bihar voters list to make the net deletions 44 lakhs. In the final SIR voters list in Bihar, Professor Yogendra Yadav showed in the Supreme Court that there were 5 lakh duplicate. So this was, again, let me repeat this. In the so-called final SIR voters list in Bihar, Professor Yogendra Yadav showed in the Supreme Court that there were 5 lakh duplicate voters listed, and many samples were produced in the Supreme Court. ECI replied in Supreme Court that they did not have a deduplication software to find and remove duplicate names of voters. Professor Yadav submitted in the court that his team used a deduplication software to find and submit the 5 lakh duplicate voters' names. There were also 21 lakh households with more than 10 voters each. As per election rules, each such household with more than 10 voters listed in that household must be visited by the ERO, Electoral Registration Officer, to check and confirm the legitimacy of such voters at such addresses. ECI could not show that this has been checked. Professor Yadav gave a list of 21 lakh such households, each with more than 10 voters in the household. He submitted this in the Supreme Court. Professor Yadav gave a list of 10 households, each of which had more than 700 voters in it, including one household with 801 voters. ECI had nothing to say about this and had no interest in correcting anything. Professor Yadav showed that final Bihar voters list had some voter names printed in Kannada and Tamil. Professor Yadav showed this in the Supreme Court. ECI had nothing to say about this. Professor Yadav produced 50,000 names in the so-called final list, where the names were E, Ka, XYZ, or some other kind of meaningless thing, or even a blank with no name at all, no father's name, etc. ECI had nothing to say about any of this. Sadly, even after Professor Yadav pointed out all of the above in the Supreme Court, 1 month later, ECI held elections in Bihar in exactly the same voters list. As can be seen from above, ECI had zero interest in actually cleaning up the voters list. Supreme Court is still hearing the SIR case, and it did not order a stay of Bihar SIR or of the SIR process outside Bihar in spite of above information being presented to it. For complete information about this, you can freely download a 17-page PDF booklet, kannadaindians.com/SIR or democracy in danger -English or Kannada.